At the same time, none of their production costs are lower, so margins are under pressure. Mr. Deshpande added that he did not expect much better results in the next few quarters. The group, which is India's largest and Europe's second largest steel producer, said on Thursday that it made a net loss of 6.87 billion rupees in the 3 months to December 31, as it was weighed down by higher prices for raw materials and the economic uncertainty in Europe. During the same period in 2010, the company made a net profit of 9.48 billion rupees. The company is not alone in suffering from tepid European demand. On Tuesday, ArcelorMittal, the world's biggest steelmaker, which derives about 40% of its output from plants in Europe, said that it made a net loss of $1 billion over the same period.
So we have succeeded in going through the consultation process in the Netherlands. There's roughly 1,000 jobs at risk. We have announced that we were one of the earliest, already prepared in March and announced in May last year. We said that we would reduce our blast furnace configuration in Skantorp and mothball one of the furnaces, and God's sake we did that. So we were ready with the plan and could perform on it. By the way, we do it on plan since September, when the blast furnace went out of service for the time being. That's another 1,500. You mentioned actions that we are currently taking in our downstream business. So we have on upstream, in Ambauden I mentioned, in Skantorp I mentioned, and I should say a word about Port Talbot in a minute.
Chennai schoolboy stabs teacher to death. A schoolboy in the Chennai, which was known as Madras, has stabbed a female teacher to death, officials say. Uma Maheshwari, who taught Hindi at the city's St. Mary's Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School, was correcting papers in a classroom when she was attacked. The student, described as a quiet and reserved, is said to have stabbed her several times. The motive of the attack is still unclear. He has been taken into custody and police are investigating. The school has been closed until Monday. School administrator Father Bosco Perinayagam told the PTI news agency that the boy had hidden the knife in a book. Reports have hinted the boy was angry because a teacher has scolded him several times. If a student doesn't do well, a teacher writes remarks in the diary for the parents to know, a school spokesperson told one TV channel. The spokesperson said Uma Maheshwari was in the classroom when the boy turned up. He went to the dustbin as if to throw some papers, but he was carrying a knife with him. He stabbed her several times. She was in a pool of blood. Some of the boys tried to stop him, but he threatened them. Ms. Maheshwari has been with the school for 7 years. School authorities say teachers are heartbroken and inconsolable, and they will try to counsel both the students and teachers when the school reopens. We will tell students how to face life. They need to learn values and respect humanity. We will tell students how to face life. They need to learn values and respect humanity. We will tell teachers to have alternative ways of dealing with students, counsel them, be friendly to them. Myanmar protest leader Mong Gambira taken away. The Myanmar monk Shin Gambira has been taken away by the authorities, sources told reporters in Burma. Gambira, jailed for his role in leading the 2007 anti-government protest, was released last month by the country's civilian military-backed government. He was taken from the monastery in Rangoon. Early Friday morning, his brother complained. He was reportedly being questioned for breaching regulations, an official told Agence France Presse. Some 15 officials came in the cars at about 1:15 local time, 1845 GMT Thursday, a monk who was with Gambira told reporters. These officials were from the government, religious authority department and Rangoon division government, he added. After it was freed last month, Gambira has reportedly been reopening monasteries that were locked by the authorities since the Saffron Revolution movement led by monks in 2007. He was taken this morning from his monastery for questioning because he broke the locks of 3 monasteries since his release, the official, who wished to remain anonymous, told AFP. We'll move on to the business world. Design Space London bus mixes old and new. Transport for London this month introduces a new bus to replace the unpopular Mercedes-Benz Citaro, also known as the Bendy bus. TfL wanted the Bendy bus replacement to pay homage to its predecessor, the Roadmaster, whose distinguishing feature was an open platform at the rear allowing passengers to hop on and off. The hybrid engine and running gear were specially configured with software tailored for a London bus that is on the road for up to 22 hours a day, traveling on an average 6 miles per hour and stopping and starting every 100 meters. But this new double-decker had to meet TfL's targets for low emissions, 750 gram per kilometer of carbon dioxide and 5 gram per kilometer of oxides of nitrogen. The new bus beats these, emitting 640 gram per kilogram and 3.96 per kilometer respectively. This was achieved through the engineering and low-weight construction for fuel efficiency, but the bus maker Wrightbus. The interior and exterior aesthetic design was provided by London agency Heathrow Studio. Welcome to the world of science. Developing a new drug from annals of Chinese medicine. Developing a new pharmaceutical requires massive amounts of time, money, and efforts. The key step is how to find a safe and effective entity for a disease condition and how to develop it as a new drug effectively. Unfortunately, the FDA's rate of approving new entities has declined dramatically in the last 3 decades. There's a strong need to review the current strategy and to optimize process in developing new drugs, both to shorten the process and increase the success rate. Chinese medicine has used natural products to treat patients for thousands of years, and Chinese medicine practitioners have chronicled the patients and treatment methods for thousands of years. There is much information that has not yet been used. The success stories of artemisinin and arsenic trioxide are wonderful examples of how the annals of Chinese medicine can provide leads for discovering new drugs. The paper argues that the annals of Chinese medicine are valuable and describes how they can be used in modern drug discovery. Ayurveda from India also is in similar grounds. For more details, visit sciencedirect.com. And in sports, before the Olympic trials, there's a big high school meet. For Missy Franklin, the snowstorm that immobilized the city last Friday seemed heaven sent. Housebound by nearly 20 inches of snow, Franklin reread the 3rd book in the Hunger Games trilogy, completed her physics and English homework, watched the sound of music, texted with friends, and took turns cuddling on the couch with her mother and father. It was as Mother Nature called time out to give Franklin a respite from blizzard of attention that shows no signs of abating. At the United States Olympic swimming trials in June, Franklin 16 will be a favorite to make the team for the London Games. After a 5-medal performance at the World Championships in Shanghai last summer, she is expected to be contended for multiple Olympic medals. But first he will represent Reggie Jesu, the reigning champion at the 5A State High School and Diving Championships in Fort Collins, Kolu on Friday and Saturday. Now the latest from last week. Syria unrest, explosions in Aleppo kills 25. At least 25 people have been killed by explosions outside security forces compounds in Syria's second city of Aleppo, state media report. State television said the death toll included both civilians and members of security forces and blamed armed terrorist gangs for the blast. But opposition activists said the government was behind the violence. Residents of the city of Homs, meanwhile, say tanks are massed outside several opposition-held districts. Overnight, tanks entered the eastern districts of Insahat, next to the protest center of Baba Amr, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said. Now, before we close the bulletin of news analysis, let's have a recap of the main points. Greece bailout, Eurozone ministers set new conditions. Syria crisis, Obama condemns onslaught on Homs. China's exports and imports dip, raising growth concerns. Unexpected loss for Tata Steel. Chennai schoolboy stabs teacher to death. Myanmar protest leader Gambira taken away. And there we end today's bulletin of news analysis. Be with us in the coming weeks to thank you